On a cold January evening in 1950, 7 men in Halloween masks walked into a Boston counting house and walked out 20 minutes later with the biggest haul in American history. The FBI hunted them for 6 years and caught them with 5 days to spare. To understand this story, you have to picture Boston's North End in 1950. Narrow brick streets, fresh bread cooling in bakery windows, longshoremen walking home from the harbor. America was settling into its post-war boom. New cars, new televisions, new confidence. And on Prince Street, in a plain garage building, the Brink's company counted other people's money. Payrolls, receipts, cash from businesses across New England, all of it passing through one building with a vault room on the second floor. Almost nobody gave it a second look. One man could not stop looking. Anthony Pino was a small-time Boston thief with one enormous idea. Beginning in 1947, he studied the Brink's building the way an engineer studies a bridge. His crew watched from rooftops on Prince Street and Snow Hill Street, tracking when the vault opened, counting the guards, timing every schedule through binoculars. Then they did something remarkable. Night after night, they slipped inside, removed the lock cylinders from the doors, one at a time, had keys cut to match, and put every lock back before morning. 2 of the crew even worked their way inside the company that serviced the Brink's alarms, and came away knowing the security system better than the guards did. The gang rehearsed the job like a stage play. 5 times they went in ready. 5 times Pino called it off, because one small thing felt wrong. The 6th time, everything felt right. January 17, 1950, 10 minutes past 7 in the evening. 7 men stepped out of the winter dark wearing navy pea coats, chauffeurs' caps, rubber-soled shoes, and rubber Halloween masks. Copied keys carried them quietly up to the second floor, where 5 employees were counting the day's money beside an open vault. 20 minutes later, 14 canvas bags held $1.2 million in cash and another $1.5 million in checks and securities. More than half a ton of money. They left another million behind in coins, too heavy to carry. By 7:30 they were gone. By 7:37, the employees had worked free and hit the alarm. The city erupted. Police detained 13 people within hours. J. Edgar Hoover himself took charge of the FBI's investigation. Brink's posted a $100,000 reward and got silence. The robbers simply went back to their jobs and their card games under one iron rule: no spending. Nothing flashy, not one new car, not one big night out until the heat died down. The FBI had almost nothing to work with. A chauffeur's cap, rope and tape, 4 missing revolvers. When the getaway truck finally surfaced, it had been cut to pieces and scattered at a dump in Stoughton, Massachusetts. The papers were calling it the crime of the century, and the case was going cold. But the perfect crime had a flaw, and the flaw was human. 6 months after the robbery, 2 of the crew, Specs O'Keefe and Stanley Gusiora, were arrested in Pennsylvania on an unrelated burglary, and O'Keefe sat in a jail cell year after year doing arithmetic. He became convinced the others were living on his share. He demanded his money. He kidnapped the gang's lookout to press the point, so the gang answered with a hitman, a killer named Elmer Trigger Burke, sent to Boston to silence him for good. Burke found him. Burke shot him. And O'Keefe survived. In the first days of January 1956, still carrying the wounds and the grudge, Specs O'Keefe made a telephone call to the FBI. He talked for days. On January 12, 1956, agents arrested 6 of the gang in a single coordinated sweep. 5 days before the statute of limitations would have made the biggest robbery in American history legally untouchable forever. The last 2 members were run down in Dorchester that May. The trial opened in August 1956. 8 men received life sentences. O'Keefe, the man who talked, served 4 more years and disappeared into a quiet new life. Stanley Gucciora never heard a verdict. He died that July, before the trial ended. And the money? Of the $2.7 million that left Prince Street in canvas bags, less than $60,000 was ever recovered. The rest, more than 97% of the biggest haul in American history, has never been found. Boston still argues about where it went. Buried in the hills south of the city, say some. Washed through card games and racetracks, say others. Or simply spent, a few careful dollars at a time, by men who had learned, better than anyone alive, how to wait. The building on Prince Street is long gone now. The question it left behind never closed. Next time, the story of the charming gentleman who sold the Eiffel Tower for scrap metal, and then, a month later, sold it again.